Okay, this is going to be a lesson on solving inequality word problems. It's really important that the lesson right before this, graphing inequality word problems, that you finish that and really understand it, because we're just going to build off that. Okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve these, we're going to check these, and we're going to graph them. Okay? Just like the previous lesson. So let's just go ahead and get started. What does Stephanie need on her fourth test to average at least an 85? First of all, let's deal with that word "at least" in a minute here. That's probably the key to this whole problem. If the first three grades were an 85, a 91, and a 76, all right? So what we're saying is she wants to have some grade, we'll call it X, and you want to add that grade to the 85, the 91, and the 76, right? And you want to find the average. So you want the average of whatever this number is, this one, this one, this one. So how do I find the average? Well, I divide them, right? And I divide them all by 4 because I have 4 numbers. Now, the first mistake people make is they use 3 because they had 3 grades, but this is actually going to be a grade 2. So you actually have 4 grades, not 3 grades, right? Actually making this smaller. All right, so X plus 85 plus 91 plus 76 divided by 4 gives me the average of those numbers. Now, what does at least mean? At least means if I say go to the kitchen and get at least 5 cookies, what does that mean? Well, that means you can get 5 or more. So at least means greater than or equal, right? So greater than or equal to what? Well, the average I want is an 85, right? So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to solve this. Now I could distribute that 4 to everything, but it's far easier to multiply both sides by 4. Right? And so I'm left with X plus, let's see, what is that going to be? I don't even know what that is. 85, 91, and 76. 12, 2, 1, 18, 19, 25, 252. I believe it's 252. So it's 252 is greater than or equal. 85 times 4 is 320, 340, right? 340. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. Before I even finish this problem up, what I'm saying is this number right here is actually really important, because this is another way of thinking of this problem. These 4 grades have to add up to at least 340 points. So if you add the points of both X, 85, 91, and 76, they have to be at least 340 points. When you get to college someday, a lot of teachers will do that. They don't care what the grade is. They care how many points you need. So you need 340 points. But let's go ahead and finish up the problem. Subtract 252 from both sides. Right? What's that going to be? 8. So 88, right? So X has to be greater than or equal to 88. What does that mean? Well, that means the grade that you have to get on that assignment is an 88 or above, right? So let's graph that. I'm going to make a number line real quick here. If I made a number line, right? Here's 0. Here's 85. Open or close dot. Oop, not 85, 88, right? So here's 88. Open or close dot. What's greater than or equal? That means if I got an 88, I'd actually have the average that I wanted. So it's a closed dot. And then which direction is it going? It is going this way, right? Pretty simple. All right. Next example. Oops. In the next example, an elevator can hold no more than 2,000 pounds. Okay, so I'm going to circle that. No more than is important. 2,000 pounds. How many 60-pound boxes can the elevator hold? All right, so think about that. If I had 1 box, how many pounds would that be? 60. 2 boxes, 120. 3 boxes, whatever 60 times 3 is. 4 boxes, 60 times 4. 5 boxes, 60 times 5, blah, 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 blah. But basically what I'm saying is 60 pounds times the number of boxes, we'll call the boxes B, can be no more than, what does that mean? Well, if I say go to the kitchen and get no more than 2 cookies, what's the maximum amount of cookies you can get? 2. Can you get 3? No. No more than means that number or below, so less than or equal. So 60 times B is less than or equal to 2,000. Right? Divides both sides by 60. And this is a good real-world problem. I like this one because you really have to be careful with your answer. Drop the zeros, right? 6, that's what? 3, 18, 33.3 repeating if you do the math. So let's stop there for a minute. Can you have 33 and 1/3 boxes? No. So you actually can't write it as a decimal. You have to really be smart about your math. You can really only have B is less than or equal. 33.3 does not round up. It always rounds down. 33. I'm saying the number of boxes is 33 or less. The decimal doesn't matter because you can't have 33 and 1/3 of a box. It's either a box or it's not a box. So there's that. All right, let's graph this. Make a quick little number line. Here's 0. Here's 33. And I'm actually not going to put the negative 33 on here this time, and let's see if you can figure out why. It's a closed dot because it's less than or equal, so closed dot at 33. Going which direction? Less than 33. The arrow's going that way, so it's going this way. Now in this problem, you got to be careful because the number of boxes is less than or equal to 33, but it actually would stop at 0. You would actually have a dot at 0, and you could make it black if you want, but you would have a black dot at 0 also. Now let's think about that for a minute. Why? Well, because what does this number line represent? Well, it represents boxes. And you can't have less than no boxes. You can't have -1 box. So this number line actually has 2 dots, and it's all the numbers in between. What's this mean? It means I can have anywhere from 0 to 33 boxes. Okay? So be careful with some of those. All right, next example. We have $350,000 for salaries. The president makes $110,000. How much can you spend on each of the other 8 salaries? Well, you have the president's salary, which is $110,000, plus the 8 other salaries, right? How much can you spend on each of the other 8 salaries? Well, can you go over 30? So I know I'm doing something with the $350,000, right? But what am I going to do with it? Can I go over $350,000? No. Well, it has to be less than $350,000. Well, can I get exactly can I spend all my money? Yes. So it can be less than or equal to $350,000. All right? Then I just solve it like before. So subtract 110,000 from both sides. And I'm left with, let's see, 240,000 is less than or equal to 8s. So s is less than or equal to, let's see, 24 divided by 8 is 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what does this mean? It means that I cannot go over by, each salary has to be less than or equal to $30,000. Basically, if each person got $30,000, I would spend all of my money for salaries. So how do I graph that? Make a number line. I'm actually going to make a nice pretty number line. Make a number line. Okay, here's 0, and somewhere over here is 30,000. Open or close dot? Well, it's a closed dot because it's less than or equal to. And then what's the least amount of money that somebody can make as a salary? Well, $0. So I can pay them from $0 to $30,000 as a group, right? So there's a closed dot at 0 also, because I could also not pay them because I'm mean like that. All right. So there you have it. All right. Pretty easy. Next example. Maria makes $2,250 a week plus a commission of 3% sales. What must her sales be if she wants to have no less than, there's the key there, $460. All right. So she gets $250 a week plus 3%, and 3% as a decimal is 0.03. 3% of whatever she sells, let's call that S. Okay? So what a commission is every time she sells something, she gets 3% of whatever she sells. So if she sold $100 worth of stuff, she'd get 3 of those dollars. Okay? That happens in a lot of businesses in the real world. Commissions, a lot of people can make a lot of money if you're good at selling things by using commissions. Real estate agencies, commissions, a lot of department stores like Conn's and like Sears, a lot of those people work on commission. They get a percentage of their sales. Used car salesmen get commission. Every time they sell you a car, they get a percentage of that money. So that's why they're always trying to sell you things, because they make money every time they sell you something. If you walked into, say, Best Buy, they don't pressure you to buy things because they're not getting commission. All right. So they get 3% of whatever they sell. So $250 a week plus 3% of whatever they sell is no less than. What does no less than mean? Well, that means I don't want to make any less than that. So it needs to be greater than or equal to 460. All right? So I'm going to start off by subtracting 250 from both sides. I get 210 is greater than or equal to 0.03s. I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 100. And here's why, because I don't want to mess with decimals. So 100 times 0.3 makes 3s. It is greater than or equal to 21000. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And I get S is greater than or equal to 7,000. That's a 0. So what does that mean? I have to sell at least $7,000, or Maria has to sell at least $7,000 so that she can make at least $460 a week. Okay? Let's graph that real fast. Goes from 0 to 7,000. If you put the negative in there, it's no big deal. But it's a closed dot at 7,000. And I want to sell more than that, so it's going towards the right. Okay? Example 5. Bananas are $3 a pound and apples are $2 per pound. You buy 3 times as many apples as bananas. What's the maximum amount of bananas you can buy for $33? All right. So this one is going to take a little bit of work. And in fact, I think what I'm going to do is skip this one right now, because this problem really should be done after we're done with systems of equations. So I'm going to go ahead and just mark that one out. And in fact, in my class, that's exactly what we're going to do. So just mark that one out. We'll come back to a problem like that later in the year. We'll be getting into systems in the next chapter. Let's go ahead and do this last one. The perimeter of a rectangle is 40 inches. Is less than 40 inches. Okay, there's my key word, right? Less than. The length is 2 more than twice the width. Okay, so what do I know? I know that 2 times L plus W equals perimeter, right? But I want the perimeter to be less than 40, so it's less than 40. And then this is the key. The length is 2 more than twice the width, right? So instead of putting L here, I'm going to put 2 times 2W. So I'm going to have 2 parentheses 2 plus 2W, because the length is 2 more than twice the width. So 2 more than twice the width. L is really this, plus another width. It's less than 40. All right. I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2. And I get 2w plus w, which is 3w plus 2. So I get 3w plus 2 is less than 20. Subtract 2, I get 3w is less than 18. So w is less than 6. What does that mean? The width has to be less than 6, right? So to graph that, here's 0. Here is 6. And what I want to do is open or close dot. It has to be less than, so it's an open dot this time. And it has to be less than 6, so it's going to the left. Now, you may be wondering, well, how far do I go to the left? Do I go to 0? You can keep going on this one. If you put a 0 in, you'd still get a width of 2, but the length would be 0, so it'd probably be best just to stop it there. And it would be a closed dot there. I'm not so caring so much what you do over here as long as you get that part, okay? So there you have it, graphing word problems. You're going to be doing a whole worksheet on these. So if you're getting stuck, come back to these couple problems. They may help you.